Hello and welcome to another one of my podcasts. So this is podcast number 9. I can't believe I've been doing it for 2 months now. It seems to be quite popular, but the reason I set the podcast up was because not everyone has the time to watch my videos, but a lot of people have time to listen to something whilst on the go, and also it enables me to think about a problem each week and really try and dissect it and put it together in a way that kind of makes sense, or at least I think is logical for most people. In today's podcast, I'm going to be talking about, are coin prices rational? So by coins, I'm talking about gold and silver. For those of you who don't know my channel, I'm a gold and silver coin dealer. I really wanted to talk about this because there's a few things happening in the market that when I'm selling, certain things are going for what I consider silly money and other things are not selling whatsoever. There's people out there who they are buying up coin, but for me they're buying up coin that is not the rational play. So I wanted to break down why that may be. So there's a lot of new entrants into the market. The older entrants tend to be slightly savvier, which is, it's always a learning curve. So there's certain things I'm putting out there on auction where it's getting bid up by a lot of people, and it's because they like the look of it, or it's because they don't see much of it, or they consider it to be kind of rare. They don't see it often, when in reality it's just silver. Like it's never really had special pricing or anything like that attached to it. It's just a bar of silver or a silver coin. Now, part of me is kind of worried because when I'm listing things, some of the coins are not selling, and they're great value coins. So I've been listing kooks and koalas, and relative to price of the market, they're well priced, but they're not really selling. But when I auction stuff, I've been doing a lot of trades of late. I can auction just basic ounces, milk spotted ounces, tarnished ounces, and they tend to be fetching good prices. I don't know why that is, but there seems to be a perception in what is valuable and what isn't. So, which is completely different to my level of thinking that I've developed over the years. So I've kind of built a mini tiering system where certain coins are more favorable than others in terms of prices, but it doesn't seem to matter at the moment. Where spot prices shot up, your semi-numi coins, which are of better quality, they're not really going for the prices that they necessarily deserve, and their overall price hasn't increased to reflect the price rise. Whereas your bullion coins are all the rage at the moment. That doesn't really bother me. My aim is to make a spread, but I'm trying to illustrate that there are going to be value plays. Now you need to ask yourself the question this: do you think the market's going to go up in terms of silver or gold, or do you think it's going to go down? Now if it goes down, you want to be holding the semi-numi coins because they're more protected against price decreases. Now if it's going to go up, it's going to be more the same. Your semi-numi coins, you're probably going to struggle if they're more expensive than the bullion. I've got no problem with that. It's all about how you buy. For me, that's not an issue. But it is a curious fact of the market at the moment. Now, I can't talk about the States or Australia. I don't know what's going on in terms of those individual markets. I don't buy and sell there, so I'm sorry on that one. Now, another thing that I wanted to really address is how people can be a bit irrational when buying. You know, it's been going up and down a lot recently, and people just don't know how to price things. There is a wide spread on how much coins are going for. So I've sold coins between 24 to about 28, and I'm struggling to keep on top of it myself. A market can only act rationally when everything makes sense, and when the sense making process breaks down, it's very difficult to act as a rational member of that market. So I'm only one part of the market. All I do is I set a price and it sells or it doesn't. And if I rationally think I'm setting a price and it should fly out and it doesn't sell, that kind of makes me an irrational actor within that market, regardless of what I think or feel about my prices. The market is set by every individual actor in it, rather than the one individual setting the prices. This does change slightly when you become a full-time dealer that has a shop and buys bullion consistently. You are a market maker rather than a market taker. But for individuals such as myself, it doesn't matter if I think I'm acting rationally. There's going to be people who think I act irrationally. And I'll give you an example of this. There was a gentleman who said to me, he's like, "You're overpriced, I can buy it cheaper." And I said, "Of course you can buy it cheaper. Everyone can buy it cheaper, but that's the problem is you've got to get it to the UK, you've got to pay the appropriate taxes and you've got to pay for shipping, and most people genuinely can't afford to pay 20, 40 ounces worth. All I do is I buy slightly under what the cheapest rate is and I sell slightly over." But to him, he was like, "It's not rational for me to buy slightly over." And I said, "Well, if you're buying more, then fine, but I'm not dropping my prices. I won't be dropping my prices because there are people who will pay it. I am a business. I try to be fair. I try to offer value, but being the cheapest and being of value they're not always the same thing. Because for me to be the cheapest guy on the market, I have to offer the cheapest prices when buying, and rationally, who's gonna sell for the cheapest? There's no reason to do that. So it's just a quick one. I didn't really want to put out a 10-15 minute tutorial, but I just want people to think about how the market kind of changes and what is rational for one person doesn't make sense for another person. So that's how a market works. It's constantly weighing up prices. It's called the invisible hand. It constantly weighs up prices, and if the prices are fair, things sell, and if they're not, they don't. There are some other factors, but I'll get into that into another video. Okay. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you do like my content, please support me by liking, commenting, and subscribing if you haven't already. And I hope to see you on the next one.